Okay, hello and welcome to this video about the chaos that happened on the Long Island Railroad today, and a huge mess, completely unacceptable, but we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. So I want to read to you the article from Patch here. We're also going to play a little bit of a News 12 video because it has Phil Eng with a BS excuse that we have to point out. But first, let's talk about what happened today. So LIRR is prepared to add AM/PM trains amid crowding concerns. Crowding on a few trains, sporadic and isolated. That's what Phil Eng said. It wasn't sporadic and isolated. It was widespread. But the LIRR is prepared to add service to immediately address the issue. So here's a picture of what it was like on a train this morning. And I think this might have been a Ronkonkoma train. Look at that. Wall-to-wall people. We're in a pandemic, and this is what the railroad is doing. And this is all because of Pat Foye. This is criminal. This is something that I'm calling on the federal government, the CDC, and President Joe Biden to start press criminal charges against people at the Long Island Railroad for this, because this is going to be a super spreader. I will be very surprised if the rates don't increase in the next couple of weeks because the infection rate because of this. Yes, everybody's wearing masks, but we already know that there are going to be some people out there who aren't going to be wearing the mask properly. It looks like everybody in this picture is wearing a mask, which is good. But still, this is not safe at all. Not safe at all. And all it takes is one person who isn't covering their nose or isn't wearing the mask properly to create a whole super spreader event. And it pisses me off because this governor was so busy shutting down restaurants and punishing businesses for violating rules, but yet it's okay for his own MTA to contribute way more than any business has in this state to the spread of COVID. Isn't that unbelievable? So here we go. This is the article here. Long Island Railroad officials hit with a barrage of complaints Monday about service changes that resulted in crowded conditions say they are prepared to add service during the evening rush and tomorrow morning's commute. Commuters took to social media on Monday to complain that a new schedule that went into effect on Monday morning featuring fewer trains led to overcrowded conditions, with some passengers standing shoulder to shoulder on their ride to work in Manhattan. In a statement, Long Island Railroad President, we don't even need to play the News 12 thing because it's right here. In a statement, LIRR President Phil Eng said there was sporadic and isolated crowding on a few trains during the morning rush, but the agency is prepared to add service during the PM rush, as well as tomorrow morning to immediately address this issue. The crowding was not sporadic. It was not sporadic. As always, we will monitor ridership and make adjustments as necessary, whether that is lengthening trains or adding additional service. So here's some pictures from Todd Kaminsky that show some crowded trains as well. This might be the Babylon branch. Let's see if we can get this. Let me make this a little larger so we can do that. Let's see this. I kind of see what station that is. I think that's on the Babylon branch. Not sure. We're going to have to actually go to the thing here. Let me click on it. We can get a larger picture here. I mean, he's going on to Facebook, but we're going to have to do that. Let's see. It just says Penn Station. So I don't know what train this is on, but Hillside employees. That could be the main line, actually. So you can see it's just dangerously crowded. People standing in the aisles. This guy looks like he's barely covering his nose. Very concerning. Very concerning. This is serious. This is not a laughing matter. All right. This is very serious, and that's why I think there needs to be a criminal investigation in this now. All right. The new train schedule factors in track work required to expand services, LIRR spokesman Aaron Donovan said. The new service schedule is providing 75% pre-pandemic levels of service for only 24% of the ridership, according to him, of course. And the agency will be monitoring train usage using its Train Time app, which can show how many people are on a train in real time, and adjustments can be made to address ridership. Eng said that the app, along with reports from personnel in the field, will help the agency identify trains that need adjustments. An exasperated Mineola commuter, Matt Long, was one of many commuters who complained on social media. He posted a photo of passengers crowding the aisle aboard a Manhattan-bound train to his Twitter feed. So I guess this was on the main line, that picture, and immediately had responses from other riders. This is the 546 train from Mineola to Penn. Expect an uptick in the coronavirus courtesy of the Long Island Railroad. Up until Monday, Long, who is an operating engineer with Local 94, would catch the 5:30 train from Mineola, and there would also be a 5:37 and a 5:55 a.m. train. But the trains have been combined into the 546 train. So 3 trains combined into 1. I never stopped working and used the trains all throughout the pandemic, he said in an email to Patch. But this morning's commute was the worst I've dealt with so far. I fully expect an uptick in positive COVID cases on Long Island shortly, courtesy of the LIRR. Train riders reported similar situations on trains from Long Beach, Syosset, Westbury, and New Hyde Park. A Westbury rider on the 703 train tweeted that the train was way too crowded. Social distancing was 18 inches, not 6 feet, the person wrote. In some photos posted to social media, masked riders can be seen crowded closer than 6 feet, veering from the Centers for Disease Control prevention guidelines for traveling on public transportation. Hence why I think the criminal charges should be pressed. These photos are nothing compared to the 8:23 a.m. from Long Beach, tweeted another commuter. Another commuter tweeted, the LIRR allowed these dangerous schedules to go through, and now who knows how many passengers will spread COVID-19. The Office of State Senator Todd Kaminsky began collecting photos from riders with the senator, telling his constituents on Facebook that he emphasized with them for sitting in a packed, cramped train car. We must return to the old schedule and get everybody back to work, he wrote. In response to Kaminsky's post, one commuter described the 827 train from Rockville Center as absurd, fundamentally unsafe, and a tremendous challenge for essential workers. If the same Metropolitan Transportation Authority workforce is paid the same salary, including overtime, how much does it really save to run far fewer trains and put all riders at risk, the commuter wrote. You have the support, and you are the voice of the commuters. Another person posted it was ridiculous that riders must endanger their lives to get to work, calling it unacceptable. In his statement, Eng went on to laud U.S. Senate Majority Leader Schumer for his leadership in securing the MTA another $6.5 billion in federal funding in the American Rescue Plan, which, if approved by the House of Representatives, will allow the agency to avoid the drastic cuts to LIRR service that were being contemplated. Yeah, exactly. You're getting the money, so why are you doing this? He says, those cuts are completely separate from this right-sizing effort. Give me a break. What a bunch of crap. The LIRR's capacity tracking feature is available to all customers to track capacity in real time on the LIRR Train Time app. We thank our customers for their patience. In the meantime, LIRR officials are advising riders to check the Train Time app to help them plan their commute. So, huge mess. Great article from the Patch, by the way. Much more detailed than the News 12 report, which I'm not even going to play. But just a huge mess. A huge mess. We're not even going to bother playing this News 12 report. But you can see Phil Eng is saying sporadic. Well, we're going to go over the Twitter feed, and there's a lot to look at here and a lot of comments. But the first thing, this is the picture right here. This is another picture that was shared with me. 550 at a New Hyde Park. It must have been the 546 from Mineola. Look at this. Wall-to-wall people jammed together like this. This is going to create a huge amount of cases. Maybe that's what the governor wants so he can try to shut us down again. This governor, this is being done on purpose. This has nothing to do with saving money. This has to do with ruining public transportation. They want to drive the ridership down, and that's the way they're doing it. A lot of people aren't going to want to take the train after what happened today, if this keeps happening time and time again. And that's what they want, so they can cut more. Look at Nice Bus carrying probably half the riders that Long Island Bus did. Long Island Bus at its peak was carrying 110,000 riders a day. Nice, probably carrying maybe 60,000. All right, if that. All right, that's the point. Get people off public transportation, get them ripped off by taxi, Uber, Lyft, get them driving. That's what this governor's all about. And this shows right here that Governor Cuomo has never cared about saving people's lives with coronavirus. No, he hasn't. It's all about control. And I'm glad that the state legislators stripped him of controls, but more should have been done. Because this shows right here that Governor Cuomo does not care about your health one bit. Neither does Pat Foye, neither does Phil Eng. All right? So let's take a look at some of these trains here. I took some screenshots here to show you some crowded trains here. Here's one right here, Ronkonkoma train. All right. So let's get to it. It was already running late because there was crowding in the trains. There are a few cars that are green, but most of them are orange. Anything worse than yellow is unacceptable. All right. Let's look at another train here. This is a Huntington train. This one's not too bad. Only one car it's crowded. Like the Huntington line didn't get it as bad. The Ronkonkoma line got hit the worst. And some of these Babylon trains too. Look at this one. Pretty packed. Why is it only 8 cars? I mean, they cut the service. They should at least have all 12-car trains. Here's another Babylon train with crowding in the front. Here's another Ronkonkoma train that's pretty crowded as well. All right. Babylon train crowded as well. So the Ronkonkoma and the Babylon lines got the worst of it. What I've noticed is the crowding. The Ronkonkoma and the Babylon branches got the worst of it. There's one that's not that crowded. But some of these are just ridiculous. Fort Washington didn't look too bad. Here's another Ronkonkoma train that's crowded. A lot of Ronkonkoma trains that were crowded. Another Babylon branch train that was crowded here. All right, another one. So some of them weren't crowded, but a lot of them were. So let's go look at the Long Island Railroad Twitter, because there is a lot of stuff on here that a lot of people had a ton of complaints about the schedules, and they really got bombarded. And honestly, if I was Phil Eng, I wouldn't be caught. Phil Eng, forget about him. All right, that's why I said I think he needs to resign. But you know what? Honestly, I think he should face criminal charges too, because it's a serious matter. You were putting people's health at risk, and you did it anyway. That, to me, is a crime, and you should be charged with a crime. Same thing with Mr. Pat Foye. They should be charged with crimes, and I think they should be. I think that the federal government should go after them. I really do. So why would you mess with the main branch? Early trains, all construction workers will be late to work. All right. 5:32, the train isn't here yet. About 200 people waiting for a train from out east. That's already packed. Way to go, LIRR. We have 11 people standing on this train at this train door with me. No F people to go. I'm going to return my monthly and not buy a ticket. And a lot of people are going to drive in. That's right. Everyone that commutes from Huntington Line complained this is outrageous. Only people that take the train are essential workers. Yeah, well, they don't care about essential workers. A certain demographic is working from home, so they're not being affected by this. And there are essential workers that rely on the Babylon branch to get screwed too. Something must, our lives are being disturbed. Philip Eng, get it together. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Just when you see trains getting more crowded, guess you're not getting any more federal funding, but you are getting more federal funding. We need the 508 train back. This is outrageous out of the Huntington branch. Who thought this was a good idea during a pandemic? That says Hillside employees, so it's got to be a mainline train. WABC covering this. Here we go. Train packed. Look at this one. Well, let's see if I can get this picture here. Here you go. Look at this. This is a Ronkonkoma train. Look at this. So this is a train that's 2 minutes late already. Look at the red. Red. You got to be kidding me. This is what I mean. It's a crime what they did. It's a crime. This is a crime right here. People at the railroad need to be charged. They need to be charged with crime. That's right. You Phil Eng too. You know what? You got to do the right thing, all right? If you knowingly put people's health at risk of catching a potentially deadly disease, then you, sir, should be in jail. Late 7 minutes. Short train. People can't fit in after Mineola. 10 minutes late. Transfer at 10 minutes late. New timetables make trains even more crowded. I understand the need to cut service given the lower ridership, but what you've done is create an unsafe situation where passengers are now overcrowding in every car. COVID is still a very real threat. It sure is. Here's the 550 out of Long Beach. Not as crowded as the Mineola lines, with people standing and, more importantly, close together with no social distancing. The later trains will be worse. Here you go. All right. More. There's so many comments and complaints here. 529 out of Huntington was atrocious. The 509, 527, 541, and 546 trains have all been combined into this one train that doesn't even go to Penn Station. Standing room only for that train, connecting train to Penn. Please consider adding more rush hour trains. Here's another one. What I witnessed today was a slap in the face to all essential workers that have worked through the pandemic, especially healthcare workers. This is what I mean. This governor needs to resign. He needs to resign. And Pat Foye and Phil Eng need to resign, and all three of them need to go to jail for this. You know what? I think it's time to call on the federal prosecutors to get involved. The federal government needs to get involved and start filing some charges. It's just unbelievable. Such a mess. 352 Babylon train, overcrowded. 546 out of Mineola, another picture. Yeah, it looks like the Ronkonkoma and the main lines did get hit the worst. Not surprisingly, but then the Babylon branch also got hit hard too. 740 out of Lynbrook, super spreader event. LIRR is going to do what Cuomo did to the nursing home. Yeah, that's another thing. Goes to show you, Cuomo doesn't care about your health. He was all about control all along. It's all about control. He destroyed people's lives. He destroyed people's businesses. He destroyed the economy. That man should never be let out of jail again. Here's another thanks for making everyone that takes the Huntington branch have to drive. Next month, not many construction and essential workers can take a 529. 505 out of Lindenhurst, which is now as a local, has people currently standing in the aisle and sitting on top of each other. Here's a train. Here's an overcrowded Babylon train here. All right. Apparently, some of the information is not accurate that's being provided here. You can see all orange. This is a Babylon train, overcrowded Babylon train right there. All right. Here's another picture of that 550 to New Hyde Park. That looked like one of the worst ones. SRO by Farmingdale. 20% of the train is filled with railroad workers. Canceling the only AM direct run to New York City on the Port Jeff line. And the high schools reopen. 8 a.m. train from Copeg. Standing room only. New schedule is an absolute nightmare. Here's another train overcrowded on the Ronkonkoma line. Look at this. This was a complete disaster, and there needs to be charges. In fact, I am calling Anna Kaplan again and telling, I'm going to call my federal representatives, because forget about the state now. I think they need to face federal charges for this. All right, here's another one. 71 comments. I've never seen so many comments on Twitter on the railroad. Morning trains are packed on the Babylon branch. New schedule is a nightmare. The LIRRs, people are overcrowded on the Babylon trains. They're running on top of each other. We can't have indoor dining because of the pandemic. Let's put 50 people in one train car. It was all about power. It had nothing to do with protecting your health. It was all about power. And that's why I wish people would have just defied a lot of these orders. But they went along with it. Well, now we learned our lesson. And we're not going to be ordered to be shut down like we were before. People aren't going to take it again. All right? Because you see, it was all about control. It was not about protecting people's health. It's all about control. All right? You can see, look at all these comments here. All right? Please listen to your riders. I've never seen. Cutting Babylon Lane in and out of Wantagh today has been packed. Standing room at the doors and in the aisles. 703 from Westbury was so crowded that people in the aisles and most of the seats were taken. Absolutely no way to social distance. One train an hour is absolute inconvenience. Are you trying to get riders killed? Guess so. Train was standing room only. And why would you have thought 8 cars and not have 12 cars? Insanity. Hourly service on the Far Rockaway branch. Unbelievable. there needs to be some real serious charges filed for the people at the Long Island Railroad. You know, it's just unbelievable the overcrowding that has gone on here. All right, and so many comments on a lot of these here. New schedules. Not going to work. Here's another train on the Babylon line that's overcrowded. Another one. 5:23 out of new time sucks for Maryland Avenue. There is no rush hour train until 7:09. Yeah, you might as well just take the bus. You'll have to take the N24. No express trains from Ronkonkoma. Trains packed out. You know, I mean, this is ridiculous. If anything, they should go back to the full schedule. Maybe save a few, you know, combine a few flyers here and there. But, I mean, this is unbelievable. I don't buy that their ridership is 25%. More people are riding than that. They're trying to get the ridership down. 8 trains running the whole day for the Long Beach line. Jam-packed, no seats. People on top of each other. You hear... I've never seen so many complaints on the railroad. And then this enabled us to train. Yeah, we're basically part of an experiment. Oh, this enabled us to identify trains where adjustments were needed. Yeah, it's an experiment. People's health is hanging in the balance. There should have been a gradual reduction, not a full-fledged reduction. This is endangering the health and using us as guinea pigs. Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Here's another train, 7:04 a.m. from Islip. Super crowded at Jamaica, making the transfer. Look at this. The now local 6:50 train from Babylon to Penn had no seats by the time it reached Belmore, then stopped at another 7 station, and the aisles were full of people standing. Port Washington was extremely packed. You're going to end up responsible for a spike? There will be a spike. There will be. Well, the governor is like, well, we're doing this to avoid a spike. Just, you know what? These executive orders, it's obvious he doesn't care about people's health. So we need to look. The mask, I understand, but you know what? Connecticut, they're opening their restaurants 100%. The city's still stuck at 35%. I know Cuomo's now saying we'll go to 75%. You know, don't even listen to this guy. Let's go to 75% now. The city too. Don't listen to this guy anymore. Like I said, he's a paper tiger. If everybody just didn't listen to what he said, he'd be a paper tiger. Because he doesn't care about your health. The proof is right here on the screen for you. The 5:29 from Huntington was packed and late. You can see all these comments. Here's another overcrowded train. Oh, does that guy not have a mask on? He doesn't have a mask. His mask is... He's not wearing a mask, this guy right here. See? Look, no mask. No one says anything. This guy, not covering his nose. Another picture. This is a crime. When will we start ticketing these people? All right, there you go. Not covering your nose. It was never about your health. It was never about protecting your health. It was all about control. All right? That's what it was all about. Proof's right here. Cuomo's aware of this. He knew about these changes. He supported these changes. What does that tell you about what Cuomo? What does that tell you about Cuomo? All right. Here's their... we have a Ronkonkoma branch. 2 additional trains. Wow, a whopping 2 additional trains. As we're implementing the new schedule, which was first announced in December, we are constantly monitoring ridership and evaluating service levels. Starting this afternoon, we are adding service and increasing capacity by adding 2 trains to the Ronkonkoma schedule, one in the PM peak and one starting tomorrow in the AM peak. With LIRR ridership levels around 24%, which I don't buy, this schedule provides more than 75% of our normal pre-pandemic service levels. We will continue to have extra Protect trains positioned to run if necessary. So you're already going to have the Protect trains in case. Why don't you just run them? You already have to pay the crew. What are you saving? Nothing. So these are the extra trains. This afternoon, Monday, an extra eastbound train, Ronkonkoma train, will depart Penn Station at 3:39, stopping at Woodside, Jamaica, Mineola, Hicksville, and then all stops to Ronkonkoma. All right? And Tuesday morning, there will be an additional westbound train at 4:50. So that's it. That's all they're adding for now. I think they might be adding more. We'll have to see. They're working on the schedules now. They're scrambling. So what about the Babylon branch schedule? Yeah, they need to add trains to the Babylon branch too. Plenty of trains go to Babylon, but very few stop at certain stations. Exactly, because they have a lot of trains that are those semi-expresses, which are ridiculous. What about people who work 9 to 5 on the Ronkonkoma branch? Ridership levels are not at 24%. They are constantly rising, and they are. And they are. Add more to the Long Beach train. What about Babylon trains? That's unbelievable. Penn trains are packed. Babylon line is busy. Please consider the Ronkonkoma train. I mean, this is unbelievable what has happened today. And we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. How about leaving that Ronkonkoma train 5:41? Email Pat Foye. Exactly. Pat Foye is responsible for this, but you know what? Eng is just as bad for going along with it. Why is the 412 train to Ronkonkoma only 8 cars? 412 to Ronkonkoma slammed. 512 is overcrowding. Yeah, because there's an hour gap between the two. Babylon branch has no standing room. 512 to Ronkonkoma packed. 512 from Penn to Ronkonkoma. So this is the afternoon. Crowded, overcrowded. People standing. That guy doesn't look like he has his mask on. There's another overcrowded train here. Look at that. I think that was from this morning. Ronkonkoma train packed worse than pre-pandemic. 612 Ronk local. Add the 541 back. Here's another overcrowded train. This is the Babylon branch. Look at this. 455 out of Penn. Yeah, the conductors can't even get through to check tickets. That's right. Unbelievable. Now we had a 5 a.m. Huntington train. Don't worry, right now they have 3 trains in 1 hour on the Babylon line to Jamaica. Add more trains on the Babylon line. I mean, this is unbelievable, all this stuff. Unbelievable. So let's search. I'm going to search hashtag LIRR. We'll do that. Maybe we can get some more pictures of what things looked like this morning. There's another one here. Look at that. There you go. Not sure if where that train came from. This is insane. Look at this. Look at this. Train's so packed. People can't socially distance. Look at this. Port Washington line. Every train. Isolated. Why are all these pictures then? It's not isolated. It's widespread crowding. 412 to Ronkonkoma. Here you go. Look from 412 to Ronkonkoma. Service cuts. Here's a Babylon train here. Standing room only at Belmore. 1 train an hour on Ronkonkoma. All right, that's the Newsday article. Look at this. Unbelievable, guys. Tom Sawazi's getting involved, too. He's already gotten involved. 804 from Huntington to Penn Station. On 3/3/21. Somebody said they were on an empty train, interestingly. COVID Express, you're going to cut trains and make them all locals. Here you go. Another overcrowded train. Looks like that's on the main line. The sign says Hicksville. Here's another one. How are people supposed to practice social distancing? So lots and lots of pictures of overcrowded trains to share with you. Here's another report from CBS. I'll put all the links below in the video. jam. 1,200 plus people on the Ronkonkoma train, 8075. What a disaster. What a disaster. 718 from Merrick, feeling very anxious. It's crowded. This is a complete disaster, guys. Complete disaster, and we knew it would be. We knew it would be. Here's a Babylon train. It's crowded, but not as bad as not like the Ronkonkoma ones. They were really hit hard, but some of the Babylon ones were hit hard too. There was one at Belmore, it's pretty crowded. I mean, this is unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. News 12 is getting pictures too. Send us pictures of what your commute looks like. So this is their story. This is the story that they had again. What a huge mess. So let's take a look at what IR. Here's some rider photos. Here we're going to show you some of these photos here. Let me make this larger for you. Some of the crowding. Let's get this in here. All right, so here you go. This is crowding on the platform. It's crowding on the train. Not as bad. That's bad. That one doesn't look too bad. There's somebody put their coat down because they don't want to look at that. It's unbelievable. I mean, charges need to be filed for this. That one doesn't look too bad. That one is bad. Oh my God. There you go. This is a crime. This is a crime. This is a crime. That's the bottom line. This is a crime. That's the bottom line. It is a crime what the railroad did. So I'm going to take a look at the video I took from Hicksville this evening. Most of the people, crowds had already gone, I guess, by 6:30 or whatever. But I did see a few, trains that had looks like a decent amount of people on them. But obviously, what you're going to see next is not going to compare to this because I had missed most of this craziness, and obviously I don't want to even be around it because I've got to protect my own health. And after this, a lot of people are going to say we're never again. They're not going to get on the Long Island Railroad train. This is serious damage being done to public transportation, which is exactly what this governor wants. All right, welcome to Hicksville. We're going to cover this. Some people hanging around here that may be up to no good. Well, let's take a look see what's going on with the trains here. Too much to see. Let's go upstairs. A lot of people hanging around up to no good down there. Some guy trying to ask people for money and shit. Sorry for the language. This place just freaks me out. Scary here, It's starting to turn into Jamaica 2.0. Panhandlers and creeps everywhere. And not an MTA police officer in sight. Alright, so let's take a look and see how the crowding is on the look at this person. They're smoking on the platform. Oh, unbelievable. Next train coming in is going to be the Huntington train, 6:54, and then the 6:58 Ronkonkoma train. But it's running a couple minutes late, so I don't know if we're going to be able to see that Ronkonkoma train. So let's take a look on the phone. Well, let's be with this guy has no mask on. Let's take a look at the phone. Remember how fast this app loaded when I was on the South Shore? I don't know, the data network in the middle of the island is like almost useless. It's like a dial-up almost, the speeds we're getting. So let's take a look and see our trains coming in, see which ones are crowded. Alright. So the first one we're going to look at is the Huntington one. I'm sorry for being slow. You know, like I said, the data network in the whole middle of the island is like, the speeds I'm getting are like dial-up speeds. I don't know if it's my phone. I don't think so though, because it works fine when I'm on the South Shore. So let's take a look and see what. Yeah, we got some crowded cars here. It's a local train. Let's take a look at the Ronkonkoma train. So I hit the back button, nothing even happens. See?
In approximately
Let's look at the Ronkonkoma train. Yeah, it's crowded, all right. You can see there's some crowded cars. And why is it only 10 cars? It should be 12 cars. But I've seen worse than that. And now let's take a look at how it is on the Babylon line right now. You can see that the lights, you can see it's a slow connection right there. Very slow. That train is not crowded at all. It looks like it's a local. Let's see the next one. What is that? Oh, God, I think we have a vagrant here. Seems like they added some Babylon trains. Yeah, I don't know. Of course they would. Let's see this one. This is the one that arrives in Babylon at 7:13. Let's see how crowded that one is. A few crowded cars. It's only 10 cars too. Should really be 12. Let's look at the 720. Come on. You see how slow it is? I'm telling you, the Wi-Fi signal in the middle. Well, I'm not even using Wi-Fi. It's just the data signal. Literally, it's like dial-up speeds. Should do a speed test. Alright, this train is 12 cars going to Babylon. It's not crowded at all, but I think it might be a semi-express. No, it is a local. It makes all stops. So that's not... It seems like Ronkonkoma is getting the worst of the crowding. Yeah, I'm going to shut this off because it's just... I can't get the speeds. What I'm going to do, we're going to run a speed test here. All over the place, I'll tell you. All over. See.
On track 3 is the 6:54 p.m. train to Huntington. Please stand behind the yellow line.
Seems like we're getting 10 down.
Again when boarding.
Well, 9.22 down. Alright. So this is what we got. Download speed 9.78. It uses the Verizon network, you see. The Verizon network is not great here. And that, like I said, let's take a look at this train. It's not that crowded. It's the Huntington train. Oh, I see some people. Oh, it's kind of crowded over here. Oh yes, plenty of people over here.
Attention Long Island Railroad customers, the 6:59 p.m. train to Penn Station is expected to arrive.
Yeah, a lot of people got off here at Hicksville. Now it's not that crowded. Well, it looks like my train is arriving already before the Ronkonkoma one. But, yeah, Ronkonkoma one's going to be crowded, so I'll try to look at it from my train. See, this guy doesn't have a mask on. A lot of people up to no good here. You could tell the swagger walking, they're up to no good. That's the behavior of a suspicious person. You know, you're a cop, those are the people you question. Well, police don't believe in doing that kind of policing anymore. And that's why crime is through the roof. Well, unfortunately, the Ronkonkoma train is late, so I don't think we're going to see it. I got to get this train because I have to go to Marijuana Avenue, the supermarket. It's coming in now. Yeah, going to Marijuana Avenue. I think it's coming in. Here it is. Let's see it. Yeah, I see people standing. Sorry, you're not going to be able to really get a good view here, but there are people standing. The back doesn't look too bad, though, I'll admit. So there you go. That wraps up the coverage from Hicksville. So there you go. Here's the footage, and you got to see some of the unsavory activity going on there at Hicksville. I didn't really feel safe, so that's why the video wasn't that great. But anyway, this is all because of Cuomo. We all know that, and he wants to ruin the public transportation. This whole thing, this is all about power. It had nothing to do with people's health. Now you know, because obviously he is aware that these cuts happened. He supports these cuts. So he supported putting people at risk for catching COVID-19, just like when he did with the nursing homes. It was never about protecting one's health. It was about power. And this governor is a very dangerous governor, and obviously he's not going to resign. And this is why he needs to be impeached and removed from office. And he needs to face charges along with Pat Foye and Phil Eng for allowing this to happen. Criminal charges, because you're putting people's lives at risk, and that is a crime. So that's going to be it for this video. Take care. Thank you for watching.